This is episode 115.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at. With your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
So, the intro lied. It turns out Wade is not in town. He's late getting back from Saskatoon, so we don't have him. So we had to bring in a special guest on the podcast today, Mr. Bernie.
He's to your left. How's it going, Mr. Sanders?
The Burn joins us in the podcast today. Oh boy, this might be Wade's best contribution to the podcast ever, and he wasn't even here. So my pal Bernie and I are going to handle this episode today. Can I put my arm around him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah. Good job.
There's a delay here.
He's in now,
so I'm gonna have to wait to see if I'm lining up properly here. But
yeah, you did a good job.
Anyways, me and good old Burn here are going to handle today's podcast in the absence of Wade Laurent. Bryce, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Friday, Bernie Sanders is sitting in the chair.
For those just listening and not watching on Instagram, you're missing out. They don't see this is laughing. They're like, what is even going on? But this is pretty slick. I wonder if I should keep my hand up here all day. I'm playing with it to see if I can get my hand to wrap around his shoulder properly.
You could give him the bunny ears.
I could, yeah. I think the hand on the shoulder is working pretty
Oh,
decent
yeah,
right now.
that's pretty good.
Okay.
Look at you.
Good old Burn. Hey, buddy. Okay, enough of me doing that. He can stay for the whole You want to stay for the whole show, Burn?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean,
he's taking the COVID thing seriously, wearing a mask, not even talking. Doesn't want to exhale.
He looks pretty comfortable.
He looks pretty comfortable. He does, yeah.
It's pretty cold in here, I guess.
It's chilly. I'm wearing a hoodie. I don't know if that I'd go to his extent, but, he's older. Lower blood circulation. So
I'm surprised we haven't got any comments about it yet.
Right? So, as if this wasn't useless enough, we might as well get, the lack of Wade's presence here means there's no jibber jabber.
No jab of the gibber.
So we can get right to wasting everybody's time with a moment of uselessness.
So this moment of uselessness today is actually about decks.
Good! Huh.
What?
Man, we're killing it today.
Oh, yeah.
Probably because the Burn was here.
It's because the Burn. He's keeping us on topic today.
Yeah.
So we're going to play How Well Do You Know Your Hardwood?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Not well.
So I'm going to tell you the name and maybe a little bit about each wood.
Eek!
Right? And you're going to tell me if it is indeed a hardwood you would use on your deck, or if it's not a hardwood at all.
Okay.
We're gonna start.
So
with
are the ones that are not hardwoods? Are they made up words, or they're a thing, but they're not a hardwood? Are they a type of wood at all?
Why would I tell you that?
Come on.
Feels like I'm giving the game away.
Well, fair. I'm just trying to give myself a shot here.
Okay. Well, we'll do 7.
All right. You do as many as you want. I got time. Burn's not going anywhere.
Burn's not going anywhere. Maybe Burn knows a few.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one, this should be a no-brainer.
Okay.
Ipe.
Oh, that's a hardwood for sure.
I don't even have to. Okay.
For sure,
so
bud.
That's
for sure,
be
bud.
the
That's
game.
hardwood. Yeah.
Okay. So first one is Ipe.
Well, we're done then.
That you know. Okay.
That's the hardwood.
That's hardwood.
The number
right?
one.
Okay. So here's one. Garapa.
Oh, yeah, that's one too. You know what's funny? Funny is that you said, here's the next one, and I thought Garapa in my head.
No way.
I was like, he's going to say, I don't know what it did. I don't know.
Okay.
Must be the power of the Burn.
You were correct again. Here's another one. Rafflesia.
I've never heard of that one, so I'm going to go with no.
You're going to go with no?
Yeah.
Okay, you are correct. It is, in fact, though, the world's largest flower and the rarest flower in the world, also known as the corpse plant.
Ew,
It
okay.
smells like a dead body.
What's the story behind that? Is that why?
Yeah.
It smells like a decaying body, so it's called the corpse plant?
Yeah, it smells similar to decaying flesh.
Like, could you build a deck out of it, though? Like,
I don't
that
think
sounds
you
pretty
could.
badass.
I don't think you could.
No? Okay.
You could try, I guess.
All right. Well, 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
You're not bad
just,
so far.
You're just on it. What about Canberra?
Oh, boy. I haven't heard of that, but it sounds like one.
It sounds like one.
Canberra.
No,
I'm going to go with no.
You're going to go with no. You would be wrong.
Ugh.
Often sold as a variant to mahogany, Canberra
As they all are.
has similar properties such as an open grain and reddish-brown coloring.
Canberra, hey? I've not heard of that one.
Yeah.
But it did sound very like those, hardwoods all have that, I don't know what it is, what the consistent theme is, but they all sound like that sounds like one.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have went with my gut.
Should have went with one. Okay, here's another one. Sakotara.
Oh man, this is tough. I'm Sakotara. Again, I never heard of it, but it kind of rings true, but no, that's not.
No, it is not. It is, in fact, though, the island of the rarest tree in the world, known as the Dragon's Blood tree. And
where are you finding these plants? The corpse and the dragon's blood?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So
holiday time.
The island of Sakotara is in just an island off the coast of Yemen, and the sap from this tree is blood red, and the tree is only found on this island.
Sweet. Is it like the wood red too then, I would assume?
No.
Could you build things out of it?
It looks like you probably could if you wanted to cut them down, and
I do.
they're only found in one place on the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd still give her a rip, bud. Bright red deck. The blood deck.
Kumaru.
Oh yeah, that's one.
It is one.
Kumaru. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I knew. There's 3 that I've identified correctly.
Yeah,
I knew.
you're pretty good. And the last one, Bulletwood.
Bulletwood. Boy, oh boy. Here's what I think.
Yeah.
I've never heard it referred to as this, but I'm going to guess that this is a synonym for Ipe. I'm going to guess that people call Ipe bulletwood sometimes, as they call it ironwood and other things. So I'm going to say yes, but it's not its botanical name.
It's not its botanical name. You were getting them too easily, so I had to change it up on you.
That's why I thought this is a trick question.
It is a trick question. It is a hardwood, but it's not Ipe.
Okay.
It's called Masaranduba.
I know it by that name.
Do you?
I know.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm glad I called it Bulletwood.
Masaranduba, I would have been evidently yes.
It's also known as Brazilian redwood or bulletwood.
Sure, bulletwood.
So now you know.
Okay.
That's all the woods I got for you.
I don't know if this is super delayed or if just Wade's super delayed, but he just piped in with a no. Like, to which of the 7 are you answering?
Which
Wade?
one? Which one do you want to go after?
Boy. Okay, that's it.
That was
That's
a
all
moment
7.
of uselessness.
Well, not bad. Not bad.
You did pretty good.
I passed, I think.
I think you got 3.
I got 3 for sure. I wavered on one I should have answered correctly on, and then I don't know, the last one I didn't. I said yes.
You said it is hardwood.
I said yes, so I guess it's kind of a... All I had to do was answer yes or no, and I said yes.
You said yes. It's a hardwood.
So I get that one. 4.5. So I just got people aren't commenting for some reason in the Instagram about Bernie here, but Scott Kelly, who's Precision Construction, just texted me and said, Bernie, laugh out loud, I'm effing dead. So I think the Burn maybe should become a permanent fixture on this podcast.
Oh yeah. Munz Media just joined on TikTok.
He looks like he's comfortable and doesn't mind being here.
We'll have to see if we can get him to take his jacket off in the summer.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. His mask is on a little crooked, hey?
It is a little crooked. A little off to the left.
Oh, burn. Anyway, without further ado. See, when Wade's not here, we get to shit really fast.
Let's do it.
Right?
I like this.
He's the cog? No.
He's the
crud in the cog.
He's the thing that makes us go much slower.
Delay, yeah. I think it's probably actually me. It's just that when he's here, I talk more and
Well, so he's such an easy target, right?
Right.
He's just wanting to be made fun of,
especially when he's not here, and especially when the burn brings more life to this podcast than Wade does.
Heyo, where's that rim shot?
I think maybe wrong. Okay, so recently an article came out, Bryce.
Yep.
There's many of them. Which one would you like to discuss?
Yeah, I don't know. Pick one.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Let's start with one about decks. How's that?
Oh, sure. Okay. So Trex. This is a. What do you call these? An advertorial.
Yeah.
This is an advertorial.
It's like a paid for article.
It's an article, but it's rife full of Trex things because it came from Trex's outdoor living trends. So they put out this news article, this advertorial, called 5 Outdoor Living Trends for 2021. And We usually every year do it. One of these. It's like, what's going to be trendy for 2021 or 2020?
Yeah.
And we usually have to think of them. And
Trex did it for us.
today I was like, what are we doing? Wasting our time. If these guys are going to do it for us, we can just talk about it.
Yeah.
So Trex put out this article, and it's actually written or contributed to by Alison Victoria from HGTV. Now, I got to be honest.
Who's Alison Victoria?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Do we know? She's just
Well,
on HGTV.
she's a celebrity designer, okay? And she is a star of HGTV's Windy City Rehab, Rock the Block, and Tiebreakers, spelt T-Y. Now,
is that like Ty, what's his name?
right?
Pennington?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is he back?
I don't think so.
I like that little guy.
Windy City Flip.
He was just a little guy, but I liked him.
He's a little dude.
That was a good show back then.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is him?
Tiebreaker.
What has he been doing?
He's been breaking stuff.
Goodness. So, we're going to go through this list of 5 things that they talked about. Now, before we do, how do you say this guy? Michael O, 1492 on the Instagram just said, watched your deck building episode. It was by far the best DIY I've ever seen. So that's fantastic feedback because that's what we were trying to do. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, for those who don't live on our YouTube channel, because this was just posted yesterday or the day before.
I think it was yesterday, like early morning.
So, and actually Michael had commented on it, and he commented on the one that we had to take down and revise because YouTube had an issue with one of the sounds we used.
They didn't like the music.
They're like, hey, cut out that music you got there.
Yeah,
like,
bang, bang, bang. It was like dad knocking on the door.
Right? So take that one down, change the music, put it back up. But what he's talking about is the Ultimate Deck Shop has put up a how to build a deck.
Yeah.
Step-by-step guide. It's long, okay? Because this is not meant for people who kind of know what they're doing already. This is going through and telling the ifs, ands, and whys as to what we're doing the entire time. Mm-hmm. So it's slow.
And
it's
lots
an
of tips
hour
too.
and 27 minutes long.
Yeah.
However, if you're somebody who hasn't built a deck before, or you're not, maybe you've dabbled in it, but you're looking to take on one yourself and you need some guidance, it's only an hour and 27 minutes.
Small portion of your life.
To learn how to do that, because I promise you it's going to save you more than that if you just try to go wing it yourself.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah. No
Watch an hour,
around.
save 20 hours.
Yeah.
So that's what Michael's referring to. We put up this YouTube video. I think it's great.
It's got the Caribou Credo in it.
It's got, and somebody picked up on that immediately. The first comment, guy was like, love the Caribou Credo touch. So the video's up there. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can watch it. Like I said, it's long. It may be slow if you already are a deck builder and you know your shit already, then like it's going to drag for you. But if you don't, then I think it's very helpful. So there you are. And thank you, Michael, for the feedback.
It's got lots of like little tips too.
It does have little
to
tips.
Make your deck even better.
I think it's got the odd little comedic relief dipped in there here and there.
I mean, it's got like an hour of it because you're in it the whole time.
I don't know if that was a compliment or a zing. I'll take it either way. So Cascade Fence and Deck joins and immediately laughs, probably because of the burn.
Because of the burn. Oh, I burned you. Get it?
You did burn me. Burn you, son of a gun. I hope that's right on his
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. Now, this article from Trex and from Alison Victoria is going through the top 5 outdoor living trends for 2021. Now, we're just going to go through these and we're going to discuss them because I don't know if I wholeheartedly agree with them, and I'm not saying I don't either. I'm just saying it's their list. If I had to make a list, it'd probably look a little bit different. But the reason I wanted to do it is because they had some good ideas that I wouldn't have thought of.
One specifically.
And so I thought, one I'm really excited about. So I thought we'd go through them and discuss and see if you agree with them, Bryce. As a homeowner. And as a guy who, on this side of the desk, who's also a homeowner, but was a deck builder and now sells deck things. We have a lot of different angles and perspectives we can provide to this.
Yeah.
So we're going to go backwards. Number 5, trend for 2021. They said, give it a try with DIY. Now, I know that like 80% of our podcast audience, if not more, is contractors. They might not want to hear this. So plug your ears. Plug Burns' ears. I missed the thing to see if I got his head.
You did. You got it. You patted his hair.
Give it a try with DIY. I'm going to read a little bit of the paragraph they wrote here so I don't paraphrase anything incorrectly, and then we'll talk about it. So the DIY category exploded in 2020, encouraging homeowners to roll up their sleeves and tackle even the most challenging projects. A development experts expect to continue in 2021. Industry analysts are predicting DIY home projects and repairs will shift from a trend to a long-term habit, with ambitious DIYers turning to YouTube and sites like Dex.com for inspiration, motivation, and how-to tips, saving time and money and earning some serious bragging rights. Now, every one of these has a little bit of a shout-out to Trex, and Dex.com was the shout-out here because Trex owns Dex.com. They go on to say, if you can use a hammer and a saw, you can upgrade your backyard with composite decking, states Victoria. Building or resurfacing a deck with Trex is a doable DIY project that can be completed over the course of a weekend or two with just a little know-how and the help of a few friends.
Yeah.
I will say that last paragraph there oversimplifies building a deck. I don't think, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell decking products to DIY people. Not just anyone who can pick up a hammer and saw can build a deck.
No.
Unless you watch our video, then you can. It's only $19.95 a month on YouTube. So, hey!
Hey, Wade, you can come sit
Welcome
down.
to the show.
I'll move them out of the way.
How are you? The burn's going to
I moved the burn away.
Burn's going to take off.
Burn left. He disappeared on you.
Take off, Burn. You were contributing nothing.
Except those lovely mitts.
If I wanted somebody to sit here quietly and not contribute, I would have had Wade here from the start. Out of here, Burn.
Zing.
Okay.
I couldn't not.
Couldn't not?
All right. Well, that made my day and a few others people's day to have the Burn part of the podcast.
Sending that picture. I don't know where I saw it. I saw
everywhere, man.
I saw a picture earlier today. I was like, I'm not going to make the podcast. I'm sending Bryce this.
Pretty slick. So give it a try with DIY. What do you think, Bryce? Is a building a deck a project that you would tackle yourself?
I mean, I have enough friends that build decks, so probably not.
You're in a pretty good circle of friends to not have to do it yourself.
Don't call me. I'm busy.
Don't call me.
Your friends are all busy.
I mean, from watching the DIY video, all I got to do is put out a bunch of beer,
right?
And then people come.
Put out the bait.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Inside joke. People have to watch the video to find out what that means.
Saskatoon yesterday watching that video because it was up. It looks really good, by the way.
Thanks.
I like that. And Carly was watching it. So they just had it playing on the TV in the showroom. It was
good, yeah.
all the time.
Yep.
And so that was my first time kind of watching through it. Carly was like, it's really handy. Like, I learned some stuff even that you guys didn't cover. And it was like, well, it's impossible for us to cover all of it just in training. But as soon as the question comes up or as soon as you're doing the process of.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I haven't sent it out to our staff yet, but I absolutely am going to.
So that's a Carly.
Because I only just watched it last night for the first time myself.
Yeah.
I finished it at 10:30 last night, so I haven't had a chance to send it out yet. But
promotional training.
So Carly said, he was like, during training, everybody should have to watch this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He was like, all employees. And I agree with him.
And so far, there hasn't been one negative jackass comment on it and tell us that we're doing it wrong yet.
Not yet.
How many people have commented?
Actually, quite a few. I think we've had 6 comments in one day.
So we had
the caribou credo at the front is pretty awful.
Pretty awful?
Pretty awful.
Oh, come on.
It's just because you didn't know it.
At all.
The rest of us enjoyed it. The first comment was even about it.
I tried to lip sync through it and didn't do it. It's like, that's how good my karaoke skills are. So.
Yeah. Okay, so
DIY.
How do you feel about DIY? So, Wade, I don't know. Were you listening? You were watching on the podcast? Do you know what the topic is today?
Yep.
Okay.
I picked a bad time to drop off. I actually pulled up I pulled up to the front of the building as you started to announce what you were going to do. And I was like, well, I just get in there. So, anyways, upgrading your backyard is what I heard.
Yeah, so it's Trex and Alison Victoria from HGTV put out a list of 5 outdoor living trends for 2021. Perfect. We're going to go through them and we're just going to discuss them, what they think, right? Good. So the number one trend was she's saying that DIY is on the rise.
Absolutely.
And it's becoming not much of a trend. It's more of a permanent, it's here to stay. People are going to build their own decks.
Correct. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think I can disagree with the notion of it. That's for sure. We saw a big boost in sales last year from DIY. In fact, for the first chunk of the year, the contractor sales were down. Managed installs were down, but DIY was they were coming in left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm. I believe that, like it or not, stores like ours are actually making that thing a lot more possible because we're a little more hands-on and a little more friendly. The box stores don't have quite that amount of service, and I think stores like ours are showing up in other markets, and that's leading to it. That's helping the DIY market out. Right.
The other part of it is not everybody that hires a contractor doesn't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people hire contractors because of time.
Yeah.
Or because they've got the money and that's not something they would enjoy doing, so they don't. Not that they don't know how.
Correct.
But there's plenty of people that will hire, I hired somebody to build my fence. I know really well how to build a fence.
Yeah.
I just decided it wasn't worth my time in the middle of summer when I'm busy with other things.
You could make more money doing something else.
Exactly. And so the the trend here might be that people are home not working, or they weren't over the summer, so they just had the time now to do it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that they needed our help, but they just had the time. So it was like, well, why not? Or they weren't making money, still needed the deck, figured we should save money somewhere. I'll learn how, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they can save the money, right?
One of the things I always talk to people about at the store is being able to sort of pull the equity out of that labor, right? And so you're able to afford a treated deck that a contractor builds you, or watch a couple videos on YouTube and
just one
now.
Get a composite deck.
Oh, you mean the future videos we have coming?
That's right.
On Stairs and Rail.
I do.
Anyways, I just think that exists now, right? YouTube has helped. It's
100%.
A little bit us and a little bit stores like ours, and then YouTube as well, right?
Well, I think the products too have really changed over the past few years to allow for a really nice finish with not a lot of knowledge.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's become easier to do it.
Like those
products are making it easier.
Those deck clips.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The ones with the magnets on them?
Yeah, those ones. I want the magnet boards from now on.
Yeah. Okay, so number 4, the fourth trend of 2021 is luxury staycation, they call it. So I'm going to read this and we'll discuss. Fueled by the drastic decline in domestic and international travel over the past year, homeowner interest is replicating the sophisticated style and comforts of a luxury hotel or resort in their homes has continued to grow. From plush towels and perfectly plumped pillows to outdoor accents like composite or composite cladding, fire tables, water features, and industrial railing, commercially inspired designs can give any home environment the essence of an extravagant staycation. Homeowners are finding inspiration in commercial settings like upscale hotels and restaurants, Victoria comments. Outdoors, this trend is seen in modern railing styles. And then they go on to promote their signature railing.
Name drop.
So, what do you think of that? Do you think that's possible? Do you think that people are attempting to do that? They're not going on these warm holidays in these fancy hotels with the loungers, and they're trying to replicate that in their backyard? Is that actually happening?
Maybe
a little bit. I've said this out loud a bunch of times to whoever will listen. I think people are terrible at saving, and they want to spend. So if you're typically used to spending money to go on a hot holiday, or you're people like to spend. They're consumers. That's how it goes. And so, we can't go on a trip rather than save to go on a trip later. It's well, usually we spend $7,000 this summer.
Yeah.
How are we going to spend $7,000 this summer? And then they do a deck. Yep. Some of that stuff is becoming a little more available. So yes, I would agree that people are making their backyards nicer. I don't think they're trying to replicate where they're going. I think they're making it nicer because you're there all the time. So you would want it nicer.
Yeah.
I don't buy nice vehicles because everybody else is driving nice vehicles, or I rode in a nice vehicle once. It's I buy a nice vehicle because I want a nice vehicle. You know what I mean? And so if you spend time in your backyard, make it nicer.
Boy, as a marketing guy, I would disagree. I think you buy nice vehicles because people have nice vehicles and you've ridden one before.
Marketing wins.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think if nobody had nice vehicles, we just drive shitty vehicles then.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I would say the luxury staycation thing is a thing.
I think that if I spent less time in a vehicle, for instance, our delivery truck, that doesn't need to be nice for me because I don't spend very much time in it. But I spend a lot of time in my truck, and so I want that to be nice.
That sounds awfully selfish.
It is. Do you know the human race to not be that way?
Yeah, the guys from Cascade Fence and Deck, they said their owner drove his truck into the ground and made sure the crews all had nice trucks.
Yeah.
So maybe you could learn a thing too from Brian at Cascade
That's
Fence and
not
Deck.
the only thing I need to learn from them. There's an enormous amount of stuff to learn from Cascade.
So I think this is mostly true. I don't think anybody's thinking about putting up, marble columns around their backyard because Caesars in Vegas has marble columns. I don't think it's that, but I think they're definitely trying to make it feel a little bit less like home back there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Instead of just being a backyard where the dog pisses,
Yep.
they're trying to make it feel like a bit of a destination. Those who have the budget anyway. I know even myself, I don't have the budget to do it, but I'm certainly trying to throw things in my backyard now that we want to go out there now. It's not just a path to the garage. We can go, in the winter, even go skating out in the backyard or sledding or put activities back there where you want to be.
If you're going to host people, right? People will be having other people over.
Sorry,
dinner.
you're going to have to like remind me of what that
does
is.
that-
What we see other people?
Don't you have other random kids come to you? I guess not, right?
I would blame this on COVID, but the reality of the situation is we haven't hosted anybody since freaking Avery was born. It's been 4 years. We don't have people over anymore. I was thinking about this a while back. I was like, we haven't had JJ and Wade over for supper for a long time. I was like, since Avery was born, we've not invited like hardly anybody over for anything other than a kid's birthday party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So anyways, yeah, if you like to entertain, like who doesn't like being outside though?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have the option, if it's nice out and you got a nice backyard, I'd rather sit around the gas fire pit outside under the pergola than sit around the island in the kitchen.
Yep.
So
Well, and I feel like this year for you guys too has been, like every other year, you're constantly trying to fight vacations in the summer with building.
Yeah, like
For the most part, right?
yes and no.
Yes and no.
It's always nice when it kind of slows down a little bit in August.
Right.
When everybody kind of leaves and it's like you get kind of just a breather in the middle of summer because your guys have been running for 3 months straight. So
yeah, I think this is a trend that's been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
This is like maybe it's being, what's the word I'm looking for?
growing.
Maybe it's a little bit more
Compounding.
topical or something because of there's a catalyst. Maybe
Oh.
anyways, it's more top of mind now. People are thinking about it more because of COVID forced us to all be home. But this has been going on for, I would say, eight years.
Certainly since
Like since the big HGTV shows started to promote outdoor living in the backyard, people were like, "Well, we should put our money back there."
Right.
I know one of the last, I don't know, like the third or fourth last deck that I built before I quit building was a monster, like a $500,000 backyard, and that family was selling their cabin and putting all that money into their backyard. They were turning their
Wow.
backyard into the destination, and it absolutely was like it was like.
and
It
their
was the
argument,
nicest backyard I've ever seen. Like it included, they were putting in a pool and like a pool house cabana and like huge deck, season room, like everything.
their argument was that it was going to cost them less to have that backyard than the cabin.
Yep.
No travel, no second set of taxes, no maintenance in another yard. It
When
was
you can-
actually they were reducing the amount of effort they were going to have in their life.
And you can enjoy it every day, not just on the weekends.
That's right.
Like you can come home from work and go to the hot tub,
Yeah.
go for a swim,
Yep.
sit outside on the fire, like every day if you want. Like
Dinner out there.
it's smart.
Yeah.
Rather than
Super
driving
smart.
2 hours away and spending a weekend where half the weekend is spent mowing the yard and cleaning the windows because you haven't been there in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you use it for 12 days a year and then wait for next summer.
Yeah. And I think that's what people are realizing recently with being stuck at home. They got nothing to do.
Yep.
Why not make your backyard better?
Way better.
100%. Quigley Cable Rail asked what publication this article's in. It was on globenewswire.com. If you just Google 5 outdoor living trends for 2021, it'll pop up. So you can find it that way if you want to follow along. Cascade appreciates the shout out. Quigley Cable Rail says staycations, that's a whole episode on its own. It really probably could be. It's a big one. So we'll go on to number 3. The number 3 outdoor trend for 2021. Take the plunge.
Take
Get a pool.
plunge.
Put toilets in your backyard.
Yes. That's a good idea.
Right?
A urinal. at
More
the very
toilets.
least.
More toilets.
The funny thing is that one I was just talking about, that it had a toilet outside in the cabana, in the pool house cabana area, but at the design stage that was an issue because the way it was a Paul of France designed deck, the way they designed it, the pool house was so far away from the house that they couldn't get the proper flow, like pitch with the drains because too far away, it like sloped out too far. They were trying to figure out all these like machines that basically, for lack of
It's
a
like
better
lift-
word,
Yeah, it's a
it's a
lift station.
garburator for your doo doo.
Yeah.
It like garburates it and then pumps it, and it was like, let's just move the pool house closer.
Move the pool
maybe.
house.
Anyway, but this is not about toilets.
Anyway.
Another trend driven by the pandemic has been the dramatic increase in residential pools, spas, and water features. Between travel restrictions and indefinite closings of community pool facilities, homeowners across the country are taking the plunge and installing swimming pools, hot tubs, and ponds in their backyard. To give these additions a finished look, surround them with high-performance, low-maintenance composite decking. Unlike wood, composite decking won't rot, warp, stain, fade, never needs sanding, staining, or sealing. I think that they're talking about Timber Tech on this one.
I think so. Or maybe that dope Fibron hat that you had on earlier.
Anyway, then they go on to talk about Trex composite decking. So, but nonetheless, what do you think? Would you guys put a pool in your backyard? If the budget, it's a
Yeah.
pricey endeavor, but is it something you would use?
I've always wanted a pool.
Wade?
I don't know that I would.
No?
I grew up around the lake, though, so.
I'm more likely, this is like contradictory to all this and backwards, but I am more likely to buy a cottage or a cabin.
Yeah.
An hour from town, like an hour from where I work, and I would maybe live there during the summer and then use the extra commute time in the summer, because it's daylight early and daylight long around here. So I would be more inclined to buy a cottage at like Buena Vista or just outside of town.
The only lake around here. Otherwise, you're buying it in a farmer's field.
Yeah. But anyways,
somewhere closer where you can commute. I don't hate that idea.
But I don't think that I would do a pool. It's a ton of work once it's in.
Yep.
Right? Like, it's expensive. Almost for sure they fail at some point. And I would not do an above ground pool. If I did a pool, it would be an in-ground pool, and I would either commit to the whatever it is, $70,000, or I wouldn't do it. And so I probably wouldn't here because we don't have a long enough summer.
What about the other options though? Hot tub, ponds,
hot tub I would
like
do,
water features of some
pond,
sort.
I would do a water feature, sure, but I would not. I don't think I would do a pool.
I would do a pool in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's probably the difference between kids and no kids is likely what this is coming down to. Like,
my wife wouldn't do a
kids
pool.
She would or wouldn't?
Wouldn't.
For why? Because she doesn't like it, or for fear?
Safety for kids.
With the kids. Yeah.
It's like,
so that's the thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like you.
But you got lots, right?
So kids? Oh, yeah.
So you can lose a few.
Yeah.
One of them could fall off.
Like,
whatever.
Do I get to choose? But I could see this being a thing. I could see this, like, if somebody's been mulling around the idea, somebody's unlikely to be like, don't need a pool, don't need a pool, don't need a pool.
Yeah.
COVID happens. We need a pool.
We need a pool.
Unlikely. But there's probably some people out there that have been kicking the idea around for a few years and being like, it'd be really nice to have. Maybe they looked at a house one time that had one, and but they bought a different house and they're like, someday if that. And now they're stuck home all the time. Now they might be like, you know what? The pool thing that we were thinking about
That's
before.
a thing.
Let's make that happen.
So I think we know that that's happening because we've talked to a few of the pool guys around here, and they're booked
up for a year. Like,
they're booked for next year.
It's
over already.
It's already over for them. So
they can only put so many pools in the ground during a season, and that's now done.
Yeah. Holy smokes!
So those guys are busy, and there's been a couple pool places pop up, or businesses add pools to their services, I should say.
Pools and ponds.
Yeah, and so it's for sure becoming a little bit more of a thing. I don't know how big the increase is, but hot tubs, though. The friends we know in the industry that own hot tub stores, they can't.
We should order whiskey barrels in and then fill them with water.
Sure.
I bet you we could sell those.
You definitely could.
Whiskey barrels with water in them, be like
big old barrels.
Put your lawn chair in there. It's like a hot tub. Yeah, but can I get it? Yeah, you can get it. It's here. Okay.
So Michael 1492, he's got a plan for his backyard. It says new backyard deck will have a big screen for movies, popcorn, adult beverages, and an outdoor barbecue shack.
Oh yeah.
So you're like, that sounds awesome.
Sounds like a great place to be.
Like if I'm going to spend 20, 30 grand and the option is to like make my existing functioning kitchen look nicer with new cabinets, or add an entire new space that most people don't have in their homes that you get to do that shit in. I'm doing that all day long. And I can say that because my kitchen doesn't need anything. It's like it's new, but that sounds amazing to me. I would love a night like that. Outside in front of the big screen, some beer and the boys, or watch the basketball game or the hockey game. Like, come on, that's living right there. So yeah, ponds, and like I said, the hot tubs thing. We had some buddies that opened a business this year, home and leisure business. Shout out to Simply Home and Leisure. This is their first year in business. They have the jacuzzi exclusivity in town. It was like the banner they took. Yeah,
because there wasn't a jacuzzi in town. There was like Arctic spas, and there was.
And so their first year, and like
crushing
their first year, and March happens, and they're probably shitting their pants. Right? They're probably just like everywhere was probably like, well, it's over before we even started. Turns out this is probably the best year they're ever going to have.
Yeah, exactly.
They could not keep hot. I mean, they were posting all the time being like, heads up, we've placed another order of hot tubs, like buy now, because by the time this truck lands, they're all going to be sold before they even show up. And so they were just mowing through hot tubs. And we had customers coming in here all the time planning their decks, be like, hey, we bought a hot tub. It's going to take 2 months to get here. So we're wanting to get the deck ready in between now and then. It's like, holy smokes. So hot tubs, if not pools, hot tubs were flying off the shelf this year.
Yeah,
I don't know if they keep them on shelves.
Nope. They usually don't.
Really heavy
just
shelves.
Real big shelves for the hot tub store.
Yeah. Number 2, expanded elbow room. During the past year, our homes have become offices, classrooms, fitness facilities, and rehearsal spaces. It's no wonder many homeowners and occupants find themselves suffering from cabin fever and desperate for some extra elbow room. One simple solution is to optimize the space beneath an elevated deck, an often overlooked area, by adding an underdeck drainage system designed to divert water away from the foundation.
Wow, I wonder where this is leading.
What product do you think they're going to suggest for using this? Well,
EPDM.
systems like Trex Rain Escape protect the deck's substructure from moisture and create dry space underneath the deck surface that can be used for a number of purposes, from storing seasonal items to serving as bonus living space, outfitted with everything from furniture, accessories, lighting, entertainment components, to workout equipment, toys, games, and at-home recess. Or even a dance floor, mirror, or ballet bar. All of the things.
Ballet bar. Oh, okay. I don't know what I thought that was for a second. Ballet bar. You know.
Oh, you were thinking like an alcohol bar.
That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Where you exclusively
do
watch ballet.
Different gutter.
TVs in the back are ballet only. Yeah, of course. This has been something we talk about all the time.
TV in the back. He still missed it too. You're actually down the middle. Bryce was right gutter. I was left gutter. So ballet, have you... Like people sometimes refer to a strip club as a ballet.
Yeah, no, I'm skipped over that. I skipped over that. You do you, like...
Anyways, when they said ballet bar, was like,
You were like, strip club.
yeah, and you're thinking like people are drinking. Yeah. Shane's like, I don't understand why you would watch people dance. That doesn't make sense to me.
My head went right to what it probably actually
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's just a railing.
The
on
local
the side.
bar, it's very trendy. The like ballet fitness classes are very trendy now. Anyways, this like the idea of creating dry space is a no-brainer to me. Like if you've got an elevated deck and you got room underneath, you'd
Why
be
not?
foolish to not do that.
So we've talked about this a number of times in the store, and basically the cost to make that a usable space is pretty small. Call it like anywhere between $8 and $10 Canadian a square foot to make that a usable space under there.
Yeah.
So like,
if you want to
double the area,
throw some pavers and build another deck down below, and you're still talking like
15.
Yeah.
How hard
I mean,
is it
all
to-
done, you might be $30 to $50 a square foot. You know how much it costs to put an addition on your house? Like
Way more.
you can add a zero behind that.
$175 a square foot.
Wow.
And so it's a very cheap way, especially if you've already built the deck, you've already built the structure. Like Wade said, you add $8 a square foot Canadian to make it dry, and then finish it however you want to finish it underneath. But then you've doubled your deck size. And who doesn't want a bigger deck?
Like a double deck.
I get those emails all the
Double
time.
decker, right?
Right? I just don't know what to do with them. How hard is it?
Forward them to Shane. That's what I do with them.
Yeah, right?
I don't need them.
How hard is it to do that after you've if you already have a structure?
Well, it depends on the system. So not that hard, but you won't be able to use the Trex Rain Escape option.
Oh.
Not that you have to, unless you're reading this article and
Then you have to.
not looking at anything else.
So I think if you're doing the structure, like if you don't have any decking down, I think the Rain Escape product is I think it's an amazing solution for this. But once it's done, once the deck boards are down, then then it's over. The ship has sailed. So
Yeah, but there are other products out there from a variety of like Underdeck Oasis and TimberTech Dry Space, and there's a number of them. There's probably 10 or 12 of them out there that can, we call it retrofitting, live video pause for some reason, that we can retrofit underneath the deck for an existing deck and still get a dry space underneath. So there's always that option as well.
Yeah.
Some of them look nice, some of them don't. Whereas with Trex Rain Escape, you can finish underneath with whatever you want. That's the bonus of it.
Yeah.
The other bonus of Trex Rain Escape is it keeps the lumber dry, right?
That's my favorite part of it.
The other one's installed underneath, so the lumber still gets wet, and you reduce your ventilation through there. Not that it's going to cause problems for sure, but it could.
Yeah, if you were in
It's not solving any.
if you're in a climate different than ours, I think here I don't know that I would worry about it as much as say if you're like West Coast or East Coast or something, you know?
Yeah.
Don't say the next one yet. Keep talking.
Okay, well, we'll keep talking then. So expanded elbow room, huh?
Really
Well.
good, yeah.
But no, I built this was probably the second last. No, this might have been the last deck I ever built actually. Barberos with the big walkout up top, and then they finished underneath. So they had the exact same footprint of the upper deck.
Wow.
Underneath, and man, it was like the underneath the deck was my favorite space, and it pains me to say it because it was a patio. It was all brick down there.
Yeah.
But we did some work under there too. We did all the soffit underneath. We trimmed out all the columns for the deck.
Feature wall.
We did a big cedar slat privacy wall. Like there was some work that we did under there for sure to kind of play into it, install lights, everything else. But when it was all finished and you went back, like we had some badass features on top of the deck too. But my favorite space was underneath, where they had their fire table. And maybe that's why. Maybe if they would have put the fire table upstairs, I would have liked it more too. But I went over one night to take some pictures. And the homeowner was already out there sitting with his glass of scotch down underneath the deck around his fire table, and the lights and the ambiance of that place. It was just like, shit. I didn't want to leave. It was beautiful. And I was like, my favorite space is under the deck. Mm-hmm. Like, it's amazing down here. So yeah, it's like, and his patio was existing too. Like, he already had the brick laid there. So all you had to do was put in the rain escape system, and then it was dry. Yeah. And we did some feature walls and lighting and really cool stuff down there, but it was a badass space. Yeah. So, and it didn't cost much more to add that versus just putting the deck up. So that's a really good one. How you doing there, Bryce? You got us fired back up or what? No. Not fired back up.
We're having technical issues.
Well, how are we supposed to continue? This is a severe amount of lead up to number one.
Normally, I wouldn't.
Trouble finding my words.
It's going to be that exciting?
It's going to be.
It's actually pretty exciting.
It's going to be a good one. Wade.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't know. I can't. Oh, go live.
All right. Well, we'll just get on with it. We can loop them back in. So number one, and this is what got me excited about this article in the first place when I read this. Number one, they say outdoor offices.
Oh, okay.
This is honest to God something I've never formally thought about designing into a deck.
Right, because that makes no sense in our climate.
Well, none of them make sense in our climate. But if it's warm enough to be outside, then you could work outside just as easy as you could play outside. Obviously, the driver behind this is that if people are working from home, which many, many, many people are now, and many may continue to after this is all over. Like, I've read some news articles about some like large corporations that have basically just sold off their real estate because they're like, they've set up everybody to work at home, and now they're like, what are we doing with this overhead of 80,000 square feet of building if people can do their jobs from home, and we've already invested in getting them set up at home?
Why do we need to be spending $500,000 a year on rent?
Yeah.
Let's everybody just stay at home.
So that's not going away. But I mean, even here, like people in Saskatchewan or Minnesota or any like winter climate state or province, you still like to be out. Like you maybe only get 4 months of summer, 6 months of outdoor time you can sit outside without freezing. But you still want to enjoy all of it.
Yeah, you want to use all of it. And so I guess if you could work from home on the deck during the day,
100%.
Why not?
I mean, it's probably better. It feels better to go outside and work too if you get the chance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like fresh air, a little bit of sun.
Yep. So I'll read this here. Are we going to get this thing going again, or is it not happening? We're like right out.
We're broken. It broke.
You broke the Instagram.
We broke it. Yeah, I don't know why it's
when your episode is so fire it breaks the platforms that it's being presented on.
It's because we have Bernie on.
Poor Bernie.
He broke it.
So outdoor offices. Among the trends predicted for the coming year is the emergence of outdoor workspaces. With working from home and remote learning expected to continue well into 2021, contractors report increased interest in outdoor spaces that can comfortably and functionally accommodate professionals and students. Requests for stylish sheds and backyard cottages are on the rise. Pergolas, too, are in high demand. In fact, leading home design site House is calling 2021...
What's wrong with House?
Well, we always bitch about House and these sites that do all this. You have to pay for leads, and then they tell you how much a deck should cost, and then contractors are like, you got to fight with the House site said and Home Advisor and all that crap.
Shane doesn't like House.
It's fine. I'm catering to my audience. I know contractors don't like House. A lot of them don't.
That's right.
Leading home design site House is calling 2021 the year of the pergola. Is it pergola or pergola?
I think it's pergola.
I say pergola.
Is that a U.S. Canadian thing, or is that
pergola?
Just a smart person versus dumb person thing?
Lots of people say pergola.
Yeah, they're wrong.
They're wrong. Pergola.
Pergola.
Where are you from?
The year of the pergola, due to their versatility and affordability. A relatively easy addition to any deck or yard, a pergola creates the look and feel of an outdoor room while adding a distinct architectural element. Of course, its main purpose is providing shade, essential for enhancing visibility of laptop screens and devices, as well as offering cool relief on hot days. When it comes to backyard design, pergolas remain on trend due to their limitless design possibilities, notes Victoria. They are great for adding definition and drama to any deck.
I agree.
This started off as outdoor office and turned into a pergola endorsement. Because Trex sells pergola, they don't sell offices. So it had to get there somewhere. But they go hand in hand. Like if you want to define a space on your deck, pergola is a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I fell in love with this idea the second I read it. Like I said, I've designed a lot of decks. I've never once thought like we should put in a workspace. Nor has a customer ever said, I intend to work out of my deck a lot. Can you design me a space where that's going to be feasible? But I read this and immediately my head started to spin around the designs and I was like, oh yeah. And it doesn't have to be that different from what you do already. If you build a bar top for sitting at or a breakfast nook, like that could be a workspace. Maybe you add, more of a backsplash to it so you can pin things or hang things or whatever. Maybe you do a little pergola because you're out there you got to see your screen or whatever. You want to cut down the sun, or you're going to be out there for 8 hours instead of 2, so you want more shade. Like, I think this is a fantastic idea.
Yep. The only complication I see is with getting some power out there. Typically, you wouldn't have to do power at a bar. You could just, but that's it.
Sure.
You can get a little plug-in, little pop-up plug-in.
Mm-hmm.
Good to go.
Yeah. Pretty minor thing to add. Like if you're doing lights or anything that's you're already running power out there potentially anyway. I think it's fantastic. And I was saying to Bryce before we started the show, like, not so much in my current house because I've had a deck now for 4 years and not put furniture on it. So
have you seen the cost of that stuff?
Dumb. Yeah, right. But my old place, the little condo my wife and I used to live in, had just a tiny little ground level like patio deck. And it was tiny, but I would go out there and sit out there with my laptop late at night when it was still nice out, 20 degrees at night, and sit there with a beer or a coffee or whatever at night and work outside at that time. Like, I loved it. Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah, working outside's awesome.
Yeah, and so I'd never really thought about formalizing that into a planned and structured space on your deck for doing work. But I think it's amazing. And to your point, like maybe that just means that the bar table you're going to build anyway just needs power and now it becomes a workstation. Like, it doesn't need to be that different.
Yeah, it's you could have it multi-tooled.
Sure.
Right? So.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. And the next deck, we have a deck design I got to do, actually, out of Saskatoon. That guy's going to get an office.
He's getting an office.
There you go.
Yeah, he's supposed to go big and be like, well, you're the first guy with an office on your deck.
Send him a questionnaire. Do you work? Yeah.
Do you work?
Perfect.
I always find glare is my biggest issue outside because everybody works on those screens. So
yeah, and that's where that shade aspect probably comes into play, right? You can get your anti-glare screens and whatnot, but sometimes even just like the brightness of the screen is not ideal on some laptops. So you might need to, you might need to do something for that. But that might just mean like, who knows what that means? You got to have shade or shelter for the whole area, or maybe just where the laptop goes. Maybe that means there needs to be like a little shade thing that comes over and your laptop kind of sits in a cubby where it's darker. So, like, I don't know what that looks like, but there's ways you could solve that problem.
Yeah.
But working outside is badass. I think that's the point of this thing. And I'm glad that they put that in there because now my mind is unlocked.
You got it.
A little bit.
Now everybody gets the
gets an outdoor office.
How about you, Wade? Bryce has kind of said he loves working outside, but
I love working outside.
The Instagram still, I can't get it to load still. This is funky.
I don't know if something's up.
Nope.
You don't like working outside?
I don't know. Like, yes and no. Of course it's nice to be outside working, but I would rather I'd rather not be working if I was outside. I'd rather be enjoying the outside, I guess.
But what if you were if you're working from home, would you rather do that inside or outside?
I don't
inside?
know. I feel like I would probably want to do it inside. Like
Shane was talking about putting a roll-up door on the side of this office.
Yeah, I'm building a balcony actually outside my office here.
Plot twist. We're building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
An expensive trip for you to be on in Saskatoon. I made some pretty big decisions while you were gone.
There we go. We're back.
Yeah, I think that I would. I think I'd probably work inside, but that's like. I don't know. I have always liked the division of church and state. Right? So like,
is that what you
when I go outside, I don't want.
What's outside, church or state?
So I don't disagree that if it's 38 degrees outside, if it's 105 outside, I'm probably sitting inside in the air conditioning to work too.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a nice, reasonable, like 25 degrees outside, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'd be out there and all I'd want to do is like, I just want to hit golf balls, or I wouldn't want to work.
That's fair.
If I'm inside, I could be more productive and then leave earlier. You know what I mean? I'd rather work hard till 3 and then just be like, peace, over.
Yeah.
right.
Rather than go out and half-ass it till 5, because that's what you'd be doing.
See, I'm a
Your
night
dog's
I'm a
outside.
night worker too. You can take that however you feel fit.
Hey-o.
I got a lot of clients that call me after 10 o'clock.
They're called Johns.
Yeah,
You're a John.
I am the John. Yeah, I think that's where we were
Gigolo.
going with
He's
that.
a gigolo.
Oh, yeah.
But I frequently at night, kids go to bed, I pop the laptop out at 9 o'clock and I work till midnight, 1, sometimes 2 in the morning. And so the sun's not up. I'm not going to hit golf balls or do anything else outside anyway.
Yeah.
But to be able to sit outside and just enjoy just the tranquility and peace of being outside under the stars, and that really appeals to me.
Yeah.
So
We got live back for the last minute here.
and they missed number 1, so now they're gonna have to tune into the podcast on your favorite podcast platform.
On your favorite podcast platform.
We were gone for too long. Not many people came back in.
Yeah.
So that's Alison Victoria / Trex's take on what's going to be hot for 2021. Off the top of your head, was there anything that you guys thought would be on this list that wasn't? Like any trends that you think are going to be happening in 2021 that weren't on here?
no.
I think specifically I thought they would have talked more about lighting, but
They made one little nod to lighting somewhere in here. Maybe I didn't read that far. Well, on the expanded elbow room, like underneath the deck, obviously.
Yeah.
You're going to put some lighting there.
anyways, that'd be the only thing that I would think of. But
I mean, there wasn't a lot really about like any other design features, right?
It stayed away.
Interesting.
Yeah, they seem to stay away from design specifics. It was more like functionality things, right? What do you think for design trends then, if we're on that topic?
Well, I saw this like really cool like undulating deck, I guess I would call it, rolling prairie deck the other day.
what?
Yeah, like they built it so it's got like slow slopes and like
Where-
dips.
Like in
Yeah.
person, or you saw? Or,
No, I saw it
like
online. But like these
Interesting.
pictures were awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it was like built so that you could like sit on the ground or like sit on the deck more comfortably without having to have patio furniture.
So it was like a steep enough that you were supposed to sit like on the deck
You
itself,
could
like
in some spots, yeah.
because it was sloped like a hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have some lumber in the back.
I don't know that that's going to be the next big trend, but I'm intrigued by that.
It was cool looking.
There was actually one I saw a long time ago, and I had planned, I had actually designed one deck before I stopped building, and I was like, this is the next cool thing I'm going to do. And I was inspired by a picture I saw on Instagram of a deck that had like a bench, but the boards from the deck they curved up out of the deck and then continued on continuously and made the bench. And then underneath there was like some plants and stuff, I think. I thought that was really cool as a design feature where like you've seen 100 million benches on decks that are built the same kind of way, but this one was cool because it kind of added some life and some like fluidity to the deck because it just kind of curved out of the deck floorboards and they just propped up and made a bench. It was kind of cool. So things like that. Yeah, I guess from design trends, those things are still on trend, I would say.
Yeah.
Doing benches and doing privacy walls,
I
all
would
those
call
things are
that
still hot.
separate areas, like separate functions for your deck. There's going to be a place for seating, and there'll be a place for eating, and there'll be a place for like. I think that those will.
I do think that, and I don't know if it's just because I'm into it now, but I feel like outdoor cooking is being in like seeing a bit of a boom too.
Huge push right now.
Smokers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because we sell them, but I feel, and I bought one, and so I'm in a couple groups, and maybe I'm just seeing it more because of that. But I feel like there's more people just generally asking about them, wanting to get into it.
So, Rusty Shovel is redoing their showroom, and we sent a little bit of lumber over there. They're putting a bar, like they're putting an outdoor kitchen in their showroom, and it's going to be built out of stone.
Right.
And then on Tuesday, I'm meeting with Kelly from Paradise Leisurescapes about redoing their showroom in Regina.
Nice. Okay.
And he wants to put a deck in there, and they're doing an outdoor kitchen. That's happening.
Yeah, I think outdoor kitchens
So
are.
that's like both of those companies are putting outdoor kitchens in this year to show them off.
If I could afford one.
Yeah, and so what are they doing? Are they going with like brick too, or they're bringing in like a line of like
I don't know that.
boxed?
I'm meeting them on Tuesday.
It's a tricky space. Everybody wants the outdoor kitchen. They're expensive.
Yeah,
Some of them
exactly.
can be very expensive. Like the good ones are very expensive, and the ones that aren't very expensive aren't very good.
Yeah.
It's like there seems to be a market there for just like a reasonably priced, good quality kitchen.
Yep.
You know, and like we carry the Wolf Endurance cabinets, and they're, I would say, as close to that as we've seen so far.
Yep.
Like a really good quality, not crazy. Like they're expensive,
But
but not as expensive as
They're the least expensive of the options. that
right.
we
I would,
looked at.
yeah, the least expensive of the really good options, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can go to Lowe's and you can buy garbage countertop components and nail them together too. But they're just like they're pretty shitty. So there just seems to be a gap there. But like Wolf Endurance is a good option for people who are looking at something where like you want quality, so you're willing to spend a bit more, but you don't want a $30,000 kitchen.
Yeah.
They seem to kind of fill that
I
gap a
know
little
that
bit
those
right now,
guys
so.
sell Napoleon stuff, and so I don't know if maybe one of those barbecue lines has some outdoor kitchen cabinets.
Outdoor leisure escapes.
Some outdoor, maybe Napoleon is now making
Yeah,
cabinets.
probably.
Oh, you know what? Actually, Paradise, yes.
Paradise. I've seen a bunch of stuff from them.
So that one I was talking about earlier, the big $500,000 backyard, got their barbecue and their cabinetry from there, but it was just the inserts.
Yeah.
I don't know what brand it was, but it was stainless steel insert cabinets, and we built the frame around it and did it all in ePay.
Right. So that's maybe what's
But
happening.
maybe that's what they're doing then. Yeah, okay. So yeah, outdoor kitchens, they're not going away. And Quigley Cable Ray on the Instagram says, look out for outdoor pizza ovens. They're getting more popular. 100% that pizza ovens are getting more popular too. I know even on my deck, we've got our barbecue, which everybody has, and now I've added the smoker, but I've also got one of those Blackstone, like just big, like flat top grills
Yeah.
that we actually bought for a wedding a few years ago. We bought a couple of them to grill up breakfast the next morning for a wedding, and it's been sitting in the garage. And so I finally pulled it out and put it on the deck at the end, like just before the snow hit. So I haven't actually used it.
Here should be another surface to hold snow.
Yeah. But I find myself like starting to like collect kitchen appliances out on my deck because like who doesn't love just sitting outside and cooking like for one, it tastes way better to barbecue or smoke something than it does to boil or bake it. But it's just like, again, being outside is great.
I think there's definitely an argument for where we live to why you wouldn't spend a lot of money on that. It's no different than getting a pool, right? You only got 4.5 months. You can barbecue and cook outside longer
all year, but you're not gonna entertain on the deck for 6 months.
No,
that's not happening.
No,
correct.
Especially not in these wind storms.
But to the point we made earlier, though, I almost kind of feel too that the people that have the less time you have on the deck, the more you enjoy it, the more you'll use it. Yep. Somebody who lives in Florida may not value in being out on their deck all the time as much as we do.
They take it for granted.
That's
right? Like
what it is.
Or you're out doing other things because it's always nice out. You're not hanging out in your backyard. Maybe.
Getting COVID.
Potentially, yeah.
Florida is busy getting COVID.
So I almost feel like maybe this, us guys we've got 4 months of summer might spend as many days on the deck as the guys who have all year summer.
Yeah.
Because we're just like, we want to get out there and use it.
I want my office on the deck. I want my kitchen on the deck. I
Right?
want my toilet on the
I
deck.
want to shit on the deck because I don't want to go inside to go to the bathroom.
Urinal for sure.
For sure.
You want it to smell like Paris?
Even if it's just a trap door in the deck boards.
Paid lots of money to go to Paris.
So
I could just have my backyard smell like that.
So yeah, decks. They're the destination. It's your
Destination.
new holiday. Backyard. Any parting thoughts?
No. Good episode.
Yeah, I thought that
I
turned
thought
into
so.
a good one. It's a good way to kind of prime for the year. Our Saskatoon location got their first truck of B-Train of lumber today. So now both locations are stocked up on lumber. We're ready to go. Phones are ringing already, so that's good. So if you're looking to do a project this year, refer back to this little 5 outdoor living trends for 2021 and see if you might want to implement some of those in your project. Till next week, take her easy.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.